victoire inouïe, peut-être du jamais vu. Un solo comme les vrais champions. Samuel Josh, aujourd'hui, a marqué.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. مشاهدينا الكرام متابعينا في كل مكان، أهلا وسهلا بكم مع الانطلاقات الأربعة والفئات الأربعة، الفئة باللون الأحمر، الفئة الرابعة والفئة الثالثة بالأزرق، والفئة الثانية باللون الأخضر، والأولى باللون الأصفر.
داستن هولز يبدأ بعملية اتاك سريعة منذ البداية. هناك سرعات عالية 44-45 كيلومتر في الساعة منذ بداية السباق. المسار اليوم في تل مرعب. أندرسون يقوم بعملية اتاك قوية الآن. خلفه مباشرة كامنسكي يضغط كامنسكي. جيسون أوزبورن بطل العالم خلفه مباشرة. بروس كما توقعت وقلنا منذ قليل، توقعنا أنه سوف لن يكون صامت في هذه المرحلة، سوف يحاول منذ بداية المرحلة، وهذا اللاعب لا يترك في عمليات البريكاوي. الاس اس الآن صاحب القميص الأخضر عند الكيلو 19 و400 متر، نبتعد ب100 متر فقط على بداية الصعود. نعم اس اس ينطلق.
صاروا أمامك يا نجم، الله عليك، صاروا أمامه الآن، أمامه على بعد تقريبا أقل من 30 متر، وبطل هذا السباق الكندي سامويل جوشا في هذه اللحظات يصل إلى خط النهاية. توم وولكر على بعد دقيقة و14 يفعلها سولو إلى خط النهاية. سامويل
Hello and welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. It's qualifier race number 4 in December. We're looking forward to some awesome racing. We've had some amazing racing in our women's race already. My name's Matt Payne. I'm here in the studio with Emma Martin.
All I can say is if you have not watched the women's race today, it is the one to watch. I am not sure the men can beat it. But we never know, because today the men are in Belgium for 45 kilometres of racing, 492 metres of climbing. And yes, Belgium is a little bumpy. Well, they come out of the start pen through the Ghent City Sprint, and at 6 kilometres into the race, the Corsica is the climb they hit. It's the longest climb of the day at 3.9 kilometres, the average gradient of 2.5%. It tops 17 on the first climb before it drops and climbs again. And then we roll through the Tissenhoven-Malven sprint onto the Valkenburg. Well, last used in the Tour of Flanders in 1996. It's a classic, before they then roll through to the Eichenberg duo. But it's only the Eichenberg climb that is a segment in the men's race. 1.6 kilometres at 4.3%. Down the other side and into the Quermont climb, 2.2k at 4.2. The descent then into the wall that is the Pattenberg, because that can often be the deciding climb of the race before the run-in to the finish.
It's going to be full of murderous Murs. A Mur is a hill or a climb or a wall in Belgium. And that's what we've got today. It is the biggest climb at the start, the shortest climb at the end. We have so much ascent. This is going to be tough. It's going to be brutal. And do you know what?
Caveat.
Go on.
There will be no murders committed during the race. This is not Hercule Poirot.
Oh,
this is the Sunday Race Club.
You never know. There could be some very dead legs. There could be some screaming lungs. It's going to definitely be tortuous on the mind and sinew as we go through. You can't be a bit of drama in the morning. Anyway, it's morning here in the Full Speed Event Studio. We are going to be bringing you all the race action. We're in with Category 4. There are first race starters here today. And as you can see, we have the BMC team. Lopera, Otruba, and Newman in a fight team represented by Chatsky, Kirillanos, and Alusa. We've got the Mighty Duck squad, 4 riders on there. One of our bigger teams, like Cadiz, Pino, and a Joker bonus. The Anzacs have 5. The biggest team, Muck, Murtry, Winfield, Cridland, Horsley, and Dadson. The upcycled squads, Sanaska, Lloyd, and Mottmans. 5 teams that would qualify for the team competition if we were in it this week, but we're not. It's next week in our finals, the very last day in December, the very last Sunday Race Club in 2024 is the finals.
Well, let's just take a little step there, because on the level Avengers, Jeff Rooney, it's a birthday week for Mr. Rooney. Happy birthday. Away go. Category 4, Jeff Rooney is in there. Lots of good birthdays in December.
There are indeed. Today's actually my daughter's 18th birthday. Happy birthday, Fred. Not that you'll be watching. You're probably fast asleep in bed like any good 18-year-old is doing right this moment in time. However, away go our riders. Jeff, 18 once again, no doubt.
Well, once you get to 18, aren't you always 18?
I probably, in my head, I've never reached that stage, I have to admit.
I tend to feel like I'm 27.
No. So anyway, moving swiftly onwards before I get something thrown across the commentary studio at me, we're going to go in with the racing. And once again, Torsten Holtz on the move, early doors with Christopher Morgan, ripping it up from the start. Remember, that course profile. We have a long way of flat, 6 kilometres of nothingness, of 0%, 0.1 there. Ooh, a slight speed bump to go over on the way in.
At the length of the train that is the Category 4 race. Morgan on the front, Holst in 2, Robinson in 3, Kirk, Newman, White all in there. But it is one huge line.
It's one huge line, in part because we've got 27 nations. I think it matches the maximum we've ever had in one race field, and it's a massive entry list.
71 riders.
71 riders, Emma. Last week, we had a pretty brutal race. Well, we had a really tough race. Let's face it, it really wasn't easy. And this is shaping up to be the same.
Easy.
It's not. It's a Sunday Race Club. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Exactly.
Now, we are in with the birthday boy, Jeff Rooney. Jeff on his way through. Happy birthday, Jeff. I'm going to give you a really good birthday because I'm not going to sing happy birthday to you. I'm not sure what everybody else has decided to do for your birthday.
I'm singing happy birthday in my head.
Yes, please do. We don't want to lose viewers just because everybody turn the sound down. So, Jeff, happy birthday, mate. Absolute living legend. The first person to Everest on MyWhoosh. An absolute stalwart of the Sunday Race Club. And one of those riders you can't discount from any of the racing. At the moment in the chasing pack, trying to chase on this early pressure.
They need to give him a birthday present by letting him get back on the group.
Let him get in. There's one of the things with 70 plus riders on those entries, when you've got a massive pack like this, there is always somebody going to attack. If you can attack for 30 seconds, 70 of you, you multiply the 30 seconds by 70, it's always going to be more than 30 seconds times 10 or 20 or 30. So you're always going to be chasing somebody at the moment.
Well, as they go into the Ghent City Sprint, my eagle eyes have been taking a little look through the start list. Guess who I saw?
Go on.
A new Milostick.
Another Milostick?
Yes, Riley.
Oh, welcome, Riley.
Riley joining Category 4. I'm assuming they are all the same family, but Riley joining Category 4, Lyndon in Category 1, Peter in Category 2.
Well, we'll see how he goes on today. One man who's going very well, Christoph Laszlo, going again for those sprints. Now, Christoph will be glad to know that when we move from 2024 to 2025, he will be rewarded if he can continue this form and continue taking the sprints. Big changes coming to Sunday Race Club. If you have not watched or listened to Inside the Ride with the return of Matt Smithson, do download it, have a listen. If you're out walking the dog, if you're doing your homework.
You're out walking the dog.
I've actually listened to it. I'm doing both. It has to be said. There's real examples. I was out walking the dog and I had to listen. And I also had to listen when I was doing my homework because I listened to it twice. I was that keen to make sure that I got all the details right. Big changes coming to Sunday Race Club. They're going to make it even more fun. Lots more things to race for. Prize list spread further through those race fields. Things like sprints and KOMs. We're going to have more teams, more riders.
You want to join?
Make sure you are on if you're not already. Next year, if you're on already and you're watching this back whilst you're racing, well, you need to know. It's about time to get our teams underway and our riders underway in Category 3. Now, the Otero Alliance, 3 riders, Goodall, Squirlari and Edwards. Level Racing, they've got 3 riders, Rushmore, Rimborg and Hagland. They take that squad. Guess what? 3 riders for them as well, Oya, Ridley and Kansara. But What's up next? And ZTBR both have 4 riders. What's up next with Godzari? We've got Sieur, Orego, and Clays. We've also got for the ZTBR Elos, Moreno, Guarin, and Kirchner. The squads, the teams, they are going to be getting that practice in, ready for next week. It's time to go racing. It's Category 3. Here we go.
Well, they are away, and Andrew Neville Ross is the rider we are in with. 49 riders on the start sheets of Category 3 today in those blue jerseys, starting 5 minutes behind Category 4 and 10 minutes ahead of Category 2. They're heading out of the start pen. The pace is hot, but not quite as hot as Category 4. Well, that or the riders were expecting the pace to be a little bit higher today. Rimborg, Hagland, Young, Kansara, all in the mix. Daniel Tidholm is the rider on the front.
Daniel Tidholm, that's a familiar name, funnily enough, isn't it?
Right.
We'll wonder how he goes on from Sweden. Daniel with Eric, the golden boy himself, Rimborg, top chef to himself, mostly, I think, although he has invited me around for dinner any time, so you never
It's a long
know.
way to go.
It is quite a distance. I'm certainly not going to be riding it anytime soon, sir, because it's a long way. However, thank you very much for the invite. Don't forget, we really do love it when people get in touch, so do give us a follow. Send us a message. Let us know what you're up to. There's a lot of bike riding on. We are watching a lot of riding across the world, across the UCI disciplines. But we've got to say, we always love it when we're in here at biking_, and at Mount Fixed Pain.
Well, Tom Walker with Eric Rimborg here. Congratulations to him. He's come up from Category 4 into Category 3. I think he's going to do very well. Took the win last week in Category 4 on that Telmarib course. Well, he's in the mix here in Belgium in Category 3 and right in the middle of the action. So the pace really off in comparison to the Category 4 race at this point. The group wide across the road. You can see 3, 4, 5 riders wide across the road, indicating a very similar, well-matched pace and some steady riding going on in the group. I'm seeing riders sitting around 2.6, 2.7 in that group. The draft is strong with this one.
Ooh. So that may be Emma's first reference of the day that references Star Wars. Will it be the last?
I don't know.
Do you know what? I can't wait for May the 4th.
Oh, may the 4th be with you.
Indeed. Another celebration. Do you know there's some people that put down that they are Jedis on their on the census form? There's people who do all sorts of strange, weird, and wonderful things out there.
Well, Nick Scolari is doing a weird and wonderful thing. He's racing the Sunday Race Club.
It is weird and wonderful, but a beautiful thing in itself. Although at the moment, I have to say, the pressure seems to be off.
So
in
steady, isn't it?
It is. I'm liking this. This is much more like it, gents. Well done.
Shall we go ride in Belgium to say, oh, yeah, let's have a nice steady start and just be friendly, shall we?
Nick, I don't know if you're listening, but, give us thumbs up. Oh, it's gone now. If you're enjoying it. I mean, I think this is a great way to start a race. I mean, I must admit, I'm usually quite good straight out the blocks, then I really pay for it. So having a steady start, definitely a good move. Now, Johan Moreno just starting to stretch his legs. I think he's going to go for a sneaky little sprint win here.
Oh, I can see a push coming from behind, though.
Garty's going over the top. Big kick at over at 10 watts per kilo. He stretch of the legs, a little bit of a kick. He's got the green skin suit, which is awarded to our sprint leaders. Remember, each category has their leader. Dawn get to wear the green skin suit. The leaders in the mountains competition, the climbing competition, they get polka dot skin suits. The sprints with 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 points for first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, respectively. So 2 categories away. Category 4, right-hand side of your screen. Category 3, left-hand side. Let's look at Category 4.
Yes, because they've hit the climb. They're at 6.3 kilometres. The quarter Kier started at 6. The only way is up at the moment for Torsten Holtz, and he's leading the pack. As we speak, the pack now picking up the pace and really starting to push on here. But Holtz is the rider out front at the moment.
So Torsten Holzer clearly wanting to make it tough today. Two-stage climbing the Quarter Kia. Remember, the first part goes up, we summit, we drop back down, and then we kick into the second part. We go to a slightly higher elevation. It is only slightly, actually, overall. As we go around the turn, it's a sharp left-hand turn. You'll see that on the radar view on the left-hand side of your screen. Top and centre is the rider's stats that we're watching Francis Pino, and you can see him highlighted on the right-hand side. You can see those red chevrons indicating the riders going into the red into zone 5 and 6 there as they dig deep and put the power down, stretching this group. You can see that left-hand side by that long line of discs.
It's not broken yet, I say, as we head into the climb. And we are indeed 800 metres into the climb. And this is, for me, is the steadiest start climb. You know, we're not really topping into the double digits until we really get into the Quarter Kia. And that is about to come. The road ahead for Francis Pino, you can see on the screen, will really start to ramp, because the steepest part of this climb of the Quarter Kia, 17%, and it's coming very, very soon. It comes on the steep corner up ahead before they start the descent down, and then the second kicker.
Nice description.
Oh, there we go. But the pack at the moment...
you weren't expecting that.
I wasn't. It wasn't the phrase I was expecting. Well, Daniel Cadiz, Francis Pino, Ronchetti as well. Stefano Ronchetti, the Italian rider, fairly new to the Sunday Race Club, right at the front of the category at the moment, and really enjoying this climb in Belgium as it really gets steep under those wheels. Currently 13.5% at the moment for the Category 4 riders. The Category 3 riders on the left-hand side of your screen are on the flatland run in. Hagland on your screen and in the little window there, looking quite comfortable, I would say, at the moment in the pack. And going to be interesting to see what happens when that climb comes to play.
He didn't wave. Look at the camera, didn't wave.
He
I'm
can't
waving
see
back.
you.
I am waving. No, he can't, actually. It's a good job you don't have a camera on the studio sometimes. Good to see you, buddy. Nicholas Hagland, one of our regular riders from Sweden, the Swedish contingent. Absolutely one of the real tour de forces when it comes to esports and cycling. Esports, so Category 3. They know that time is running out before they reach the climb. Remember, Category 3 set off 5 minutes behind Category 4. There's a 10-minute gap between Categories 3 and 2, and then 5 minutes between Categories 2 and 1. Category 1, the elite riders, the last riders to leave the pen. Now, in a very different pain cave here with Ivo Schur. Good to see Ivo. Thank you very much. He's waving. I'm waving back again. I always do that. It's instinctive. I'm just a nice person. When I'm out riding my bike, I wave at everybody. Most of them think I'm an absolute lunatic because they don't know me, but there you go. Good to see Ivo. Sure, Ivo is a great rider, and I think he really has come into his own in the last few months of Sunday Race Club. Emma's just currently banging her head on the desk at my waving at people that can't see me.
Anyway, never mind.
Ivo Sure, let's go back to where we were.
Yeah,
Ivo Sure, great rider on Sunday Race Club.
He is a really good rider. And Joseph Miller in here as well. He's a strong rider. Felipe Marin is in here. Well, actually, he's not. He's just distance off the back of the group, actually. We do indeed have one rider distance off the back of the group, and that is Marin. Daniel Valencia also distance. So those two riders off the back of this Category 3 pack. The entirety of the rest of the field -2, all still together. Moreno, Edwards, Kansara, Hagland, Van Velgem. Actually, Van Velgem should go well today, you know.
He should.
There's my predictor.
Van Velgem. Well, you know, it could be territory that is familiar to him. Very interesting. Ivo Schur, has got one victory on the Sunday Race Club. Just taking a look, and his victory on that Sunday Race Club was actually on the Passo Alto as part of the Silver Snatchers squad. First of the qualifiers in January of 2024, and almost a year ago, quite incredibly, back then. Didn't realise it was so long since he'd taken a win. We'll see if he's going to take another one. We have got more riders, of course, to set off. The next of our riders away are going to be the riders in Category 2. Now our teams, 3 riders representing the Abu Dhabi team, Camille Davis, Ivan Nuki, and Pierre Fell. We've got the Goats headed by Jonas Bjarhead. We've got the Smarties squad, 5 riders, big, strong squad, very smart move. You like what I did there. Anders Bengston, Christoph Thiem, Josel, Betty, Moritz Ritter, and Simon Walter. The UAE Falcons, Ahmed Al Tanaji and Zaid Hamdan are here. And the UAE Clam team, as always, we have SS, Pablo Popovic, and the one and only Mr. X100. Time to go racing in Category 2. The green jerseys lead the mass of riders heading out. 21 nations represented here on MyWhoosh on qualifier race number 4 in Category 2. Just in with Sad Keradine at the moment, moving across through this race field. See Philip Graves on the way through here. Graves riding around the Filippo Quadrelli. Good to see Filippo back and riding. James Krasenshire, Frederick Gombert also. Christian Montoya. Ivan Nuki tucked in. Good to see he's
Van He is here.
Yeah, Matthias Van He is Van He. I mean, this is his course, isn't it?
Well, he took the win last week on Tel Marib. He's really on form, you know. So could indeed be a really good one. He was also second to Buster in Wollongong Qualifier 1. That was a 4-up sprint, just 2 seconds separating the top 4 that day.
And the rider we're highlighting now, Damian Kirsnowski, another rider very good on this course. Kirsnowski, Mendakowicz, that explosive kick, that punch, that
Mendakowicz for me it goes really, really well on this course, and that will be really interesting to see how he goes. Some really, really strong riders in the field today. You know, 57 riders on the start sheets in Category 2, and I think this is going to be a brilliant race.
Well, Marcin Trzejanowski on the move. The Polish riders here, there's so many. Got Jacobo Bitko just behind. You can see the response coming. They know they can't let Trzejanowski go clear. And I think Marcin Trzejanowski, a rider who would be looking to maybe break 2 or 3 riders clear at the moment. You can see him tapping out the rhythm. Thank you very much, sir. Another wave. This is what we love to see. It shows you just who's watching live as well. Don't forget, of course, if you subscribe to MyWhoosh on the YouTube channel, you see Martin in action regularly on the Sunday race. You'll get notified when it goes live, as well as all of the videos of the Inside the Ride, of the interviews with Tony Bagacha, all the team news. So much on there. But of course, we like best the action on Sunday Race Club.
I'll tell you something. The action is happening in Category 2. Category 4 went bang out the gun, 1 long line. Category 3, relaxed Sunday start. Category 2, let's go. 2.5 minutes in, and it's Trojanowski on the front. John Brune doing the push. Samuel Josh doing the work as well in terms of closing that down. X100, Jakob Bitko coming to the fore. Anders Bengston is in there as well. Really great work here in Category 2. What was the big stretch on the Category 2 group has now come back together again. A little bit of concertinaing in the group. Tatu Koinstinen is in the mix as well. Ika Morel is there too. You know, Conrad Fenderich, now he's been riding really strongly as well. This is a strong category, and one that I think today is going to be really close.
Category 2 is always tough. SS just stretching his legs out there. Interestingly, just on the road behind Daniel Valencia, who's clearly going for those sprint times, not in the main pack of Category 3. And SS taking the fastest time, so taking maximum points. It's the fastest time through those sprint segments, not who goes over the line first. So really key to get your timing right. SS a pass master at picking up the points on there, making sure he does just enough to do that. Interestingly, Laszlo in Category 4 actually went through the fastest of anybody on that sprint section. Now, SS Mistakes 100 at the front of Category 2. The UAE clan team are really resurgent once again. I'm sure they'll be looking forward to our finals, as will our riders in categories 4, 3, all our riders in category 2, and in category 1, our last group of riders away, our last field of racers. We have the Abus Esports race team of all from Belgium: Jasper Paradines, Leonard Tugels, Ruben Don, and Stefan van Elst on our entry list. 4 riders for them. 4 riders for the AlphaJour squad: Daniel Chirek, Lionel Vajassin, Mikhail Kaminski, and Ollie Jones from the Czech Republic, Belgium, Poland, and New Zealand, respectively. The Farmwatch squad of 4: Hayden Pucker from the United States, Johan Noren from Sweden, Mikael Plantero from France, and Zach Nair from the United States. And then our team of 3, the Wenger boys: Arnie Jacobs of the Netherlands, Riccardo Panizza of Italy, and Vidar Mer of Norway. Let's go racing. It's category 1. The elite riders away from the race start. 45 kilometers of racing face these riders with 492 meters of ascent. We have got our 5 categorized climbs, 2 sprint segments, and at the end of it all, a really hard finish that just when you think you got to the line, it keeps on going.
Well, Christoph Kroll is in the mix. So is Michael Knudsen. Zach Nair is on the front, dialing it. And take a look at that. I spot a rainbow jersey on the back of the world champion, Jason Osborne.
I thought you were going to do I Spy. I Spy something beginning with RJ. A rainbow jersey.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought you were going to do that. I thought we were going to play a game. It would be really easy.
No.
You're going to play along at home watching.
It's not easy because Jason Osborne's kicking out 5.2.
You've got to spot him as he mingles in with this. I tell you something. I'm not sure whether that is a blessing or a curse, having the rainbow jersey. I mean, we all know who Jason Osborne is. World champion, twice world champion. He is a rider who took his latest World Championship victory in the in-person final, hosted by MyWhoosh, powered by MyWhoosh, in the home of MyWhoosh in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates, where we had those riders there. He is an Olympian. He has got medals for rowing at the Olympics. He is also, at the moment, the rider to beat on the Sunday race.
Oh, yeah. He's really dominant at the moment. His form is superb. He wasn't here for Qualifier 1 this month. Michael Vink took the win, but he came back in Qualifier 2 and Qualifier 3, has 2 wins to his name so far. Osborne, then Vink. Osborne, then Vink.
Yeah. Will it be the same today? Well, I don't think it will be. And one of the reasons for that is I've yet to see Michael Vink make an appearance on our screens. That doesn't mean he's not here, maybe just hiding out of the way. Now, Hayden Pucker just tucked at the back. Not yet doing Hayden Pucker. Doing an all-porting off the front.
Hold on.
No
Zach Nair and Hayden Pucker did race yesterday and put in some phenomenal performances. Ollie Jones there, you can see him on your screen. He's part and parcel of the mix here for that AlphaJour squad, tight in the middle of the group. He's got Kaminski, Paradians, Tugels, Plantero, Vujassin and Vink all around him. So this pack looking good. But Pucker and Nair were out racing yesterday. So was Panizza. But Thomas Thrall took the win in a sprint against Hayden Pucker yesterday on the Echelon Racing League.
So Echelon Racing League, the Elite Racing Series, also has our Community B and C category races coming out to you on Saturdays. Next stage coming up next Saturday. As you can tell, it was a late night for Emma. The racing finishing quite late, and then all the wrap up before the prep straight in to Sunday Race Club. Always great to be calling the action on MyWhoosh. Emma joined by Brad Sona yesterday. I was on the mic covering some cyclocross for the UCI.
Well, I'll tell you something. These guys are flying through the Ghent City Sprint because Category 1 have just gone through. Johan Noren slotting into 4th place on the sprint, but it's Lasno at the front. Christoph setting the fastest time, 20 seconds, 0.893 in Category 4. SS Category 2, Valencia Category 3. Norren, Category 1. There's one of every colour in those top 4. Khan Cairn, Ross Fawcett, Matthias Vanhey, Christian Montoya, Zach Peterson and Simon Walter rounding out the top 10.
A real representative of Sunday Race Club. Top 4 there, with every category represented. Now, further down the road and on to the climb have gone Category 2. So, Category 2 setting off at 5 minutes ahead of Category 1 in with our leading group. The move that had been made on the front has stuck. Trojanowski, SS, Josh, Havo and Co leading this out. Behind the chase is starting to pick up Ritter, Milostic, Guerra, Krasnich in there as well. Milostic, Peter Milostic. We're going to have to start using first names for the Milostic family. David Nitko in the mix at the moment as well. Really interesting to see the chase coming behind this group. Havo at the moment, Sebastian Havo of France with PFL on that front group. The big pack behind needs to do something about this. We often say, once you get time on Belgium, if you're not in the front group, when you go over the top of the climb, you are out of contention, and that is a big danger for this group. They have got to get that time back fast.
The climbs do come thick and fast, and it does indeed, particularly in the latter stages of this course. If you've gone, normally you've gone. So you really do need to watch it. If you're in that chasing group, don't let anybody go down the road, because you need to be at the top of that climb with the leaders to transition.
I am really confused about the tactics by the vast majority of the pack in Category 2 here. Why, what, how on earth happens that you let a group go off the front?
Well, do you know what? They're starting to move, because Anders Bengtsson, Maciej Mindako, it's Nathan Guerra, Ivan Nuki, all in the mix now, all at the front of this pack now, starting to push on. Phil Graves is there as well as Mads Buster. David Darn is there as well. Ivan Nuki. These riders know what they're doing, Matt. They race the Sunday Race Club week in, week out. They're riders who finish in the top 5. Those are regular names that we see. You know, Simon Walter is there as well. Look at what is happening now. They were waiting till the steepest segment of the climb. They've lit the touch paper. Away they go.
And now they're coming, they're chasing. It's down to 8 seconds. The gap to the back wheels now down to 7. The pressure coming on in this big pack, but we're coming to the top of point 1 of this 2-part climb. We dive down to the crossroads, take the turn and go back up onto the ridge once again. The front of this group is going to get very close as they come to the top of the summit. Will they make contact? They're just about going to do it before we go into that descent, but the pressure of the chase has shed riders off the back of the group. There are riders being distanced, and that is it. Good night, Vienna. Right to the finish. You are not in contention anymore for those prizes at the front.
Well, let me just tell you who was in contention in Category 3, because Category 4 and Category 3 have both gone over the top of the quarter Kia. Matthias Vanhey is working hard in Category 2 to do the same thing, but Niall Batty setting the fastest time in Category 3 up the quarter Kia climb. Walter Clays, David Goodall, Matthias Kalman all with him. And then we go a little bit further down. The fastest time on the climb in Category 4, JD Abello, Francis Pino. Those 2 riders going up the quickest.
So Matthias Vanhey nicely tucked in this chase group, making his way up towards the front as we see Category 1 coming into the base of the first climb of the day, the longest climb, the Quarter Kia, the 2-stage climb. And you can see very quickly marking out Alex van der Boekle as they go underneath the banner on to the climb. Panizza in the mix, Kaminski in the mix. Looks like Jones, Van Els, Turek, Noren, really pretty much this is the entire race field hitting the slopes. This is the first test. This is the first challenge. This is the moment to make your presence felt. If you want to make this race hard from the very first climb to the last, there'll be some people wanting it to be a little bit easier on this first one. It's longer. If you can get this a little bit more of a steady climb, save something for the back end. It suits those explosive riders who prefer a shorter climb.
You've got to be joking. They're kicking at 8 watts per kilo up this climb. This is not taking it steadier like the group in Category 2 did before it gets steep. This is going from the gun. And Mikhail Kaminsky is up and out of the saddle on our screen at the moment, part and parcel of the group. But the group is stretching, and take a look at the bottom left-hand corner of the race screen. Riders are getting dropped already, and they're not even on the steep section of this climb.
Riders dropped, group splitting, Kaminsky in the front pack at the moment. That pack is steadily losing riders. There are riders going out of contention. They are rocketing up the slopes at the moment, ascending up to the high point of part 1, but we still have the steepest gradient of that section to come. Meanwhile, Category 2 are approaching the top of the climb proper. The banner is just around the sharp left-hand bend that is coming up, and it looks short on the radar. It feels like a marathon to get there on that real slope. So on the right side, that group, Emma, massive, as you say, and it's broken a little, but it eases back. We're seeing kicks and eases, and it's letting people get back on again. Is it a wasted opportunity?
Well, no, there's only 200 metres to go till they get to the top of the climb. At this point in time, the damage has been done. You know, they're going to come around the corner, they're going to go underneath the polka dot banner, and then they're going to run along the top of the climb before the descent. The damage has been done already. SS pushing on here. He wants to pick the pace up a little bit, but not really pushing on too hard. You know, the damage was done earlier on that climb in the Category 2 race. Big group, but we knew it was going to be. We were talking early on about the strength and depth in the Category 2 race field, and it's evident because I can tell you, she says, I think that has got to be nearly 30 riders still in the group.
Well, we're going to see who's in there when we hit the lower slopes. So who's got back in again? Can anybody bridge back across as we start to descend? The pace picking up 50 kilometers an hour at the moment, and that will soon increase. Now, riders spread across the road. So Category 4 leader Christopher Morgan at 20 kilometers, going over the top of the Valkenburg in between the lake there with Brian White. Bottom right-hand side of your screen, bottom left-hand side of your screen, you can see Johan Moreno on form, a midweek race specialist, but also absolutely flying on the Sunday Race Club once again ahead of Sure Rushmer and that chasing group at 17 kilometers. In Category 2, that big leading pack at 10.8k, making the way down the descent of the Kortekir towards the Tisselhoven Molen Sprint. And Category 1 are in that dead. So they're just dropping down past the crossroads, and then they're going to go back up onto the ridge once again. When they go onto the ridge, this is the steep section of the climb. This is where you've got to be in it to win it. And that group is looking like it's going to reform. This little chase from Van Els and Panizza, along with Noren, about to catch up on to the coattails of the riders in front.
Wow, it is indeed different races going on here. 4 different races, 4 different parkour. Well, they're not on the same parkour, but there's 4 different ways of racing it, and they are all showing us that X100 at the moment on the front of a large group of around 30 riders, still together at the 11.4 kilometre marker in Category 2. Category 3, it's a lone leader with a gap of around 8 seconds. Category 4, 2 lone leaders now about 30 seconds down the road. Category 1, well, they're still fighting it out on the Kortekir, which is the first climb of the day. But this Category 2 pack is huge. And everybody who is anybody in Category 2, right up and in the mix.
Love this shot. Tight, close shot of riders racing, giving it everything. Giving it everything. Category 1 on the upper slopes here. This is the last kick. You've got to stay in here. 1 or 2 riders just fighting to hold the wheels. As gaps start to open, you can break a gap that leaves riders to be swept up by those behind. The group is stretching, the pressure being put on at the moment. Kaminsky and Osborne on the front, tapping out that rhythm. Kaminsky of the Alpha Jaws squad holding station. But look at this. Osborne now takes up the running. The world champion pushing on, trying to keep the pressure there, trying to distance as many riders as possible, take them out of the mix. Tugol's holding station, Vujasic holding station, Knudsen's there. It looks like Churek is there. Norin is at the moment. Where is he, Emma?
He's
just
closing.
fighting, isn't he? He's closing
desperately
down.
fighting to close down. About
He's
4
got
seconds capped on the back. And so Johan Norin, the rider, pushing on the back of the group as Jason Osborne and Ollie Jones push under the banner at the front.
So Osborne goes through on the front of the race there. He hasn't got the polka dot skin. So Jones with a faster time up the climb. Remember, it's a time through from the first banner to the last banner, basically on the segment from first to last, from start to finish. The fastest time through that gets you the time. Ollie Jones taking that from Tugol's Fink with Justin Paradis. Osborne coming in with the 6th fastest time.
Yes. Now, 11 riders in the leading group. Johan Norin, when he went through, made 12. Just off the back, Christoph Kroll and Ricardo Panizza. The next 2 riders distance, but the distance is not great. Those 3 riders, Norin, Kroll and Panizza, could get back on to the leading group of 11, but it depends upon what those 11 do. So Jones, Tugol's, Vink, Vujasin, Paradians, Osborne, Kaminsky, Safrazadi, Churek, Knudsen and Pucker are indeed the leading group in the Category 1 race.
Just taking a little bit of a check through the sprint. 36 now, 40 riders in Category 2 going through Thyssenhoven Molen sprint, just in front of the Category 1 riders who are chasing them down. And Category 1, this pace absolutely ferocious. 11 kilometers covered for Category 1. They are chasing Categories 2, 3 and 4 at the moment. Category 3 coming to the top here of the Valkenburg climb. This is the second climb complete for Category 3, and at the moment that group have started to break. They've distanced a number of riders behind, and this is going to be critical. The further into the race you go, the shorter the distance on the climbs to be able to get back on board. So from Cortachy, you've got a long run over the top and down. It's reduced down. You've got this section through the lakes where our riders are now in Category 3. On the Valkenburg climb, when you go over the Eichenberg hill and climb, it gets shorter still. The Quermont is non-existent. And the Pattenberg, well, it could almost be your first part of the finishing line as you go in to the end of the race. So you've got to be in touch. This is the leading group. Will they make the most of this? There are riders behind that will chase to try and get back on. If this group sits up, they will lose that advantage.
Well, there are around 20 riders in the leading group in Category 3. Ridley, Kalman, Karlstrom, Clays, Squilari, all in here. Rushmer and Elos are in here as well. Kirchner too. All names repeatedly that we see finish in those top 5 positions in Category 3. They are moving through the race really, really strongly, and the Category 4 bunch in front of them started 5 minutes ahead of the Category 3 riders. So the Category 3 leading group really sweeping its way through the earlier starting race fields today. They were on the right-hand side of your screen. This is the Category 1 race field. This is the front of the race, and they're going through the sprint section at the moment. The Thyssenhoven-Moven sprint. We've got a bit of a push coming on the front from Jason Osborne. A nice little kick there in that World Championships jersey. The question is he going to back off, or is he just going to keep going?
7.7, 7.4 watts per kilo, 7.3. He's almost sitting in that no man's land between the two, isn't he? We know Osborne can hold this for a long time.
I think this is an attack.
Well, I think he went for the sprint, saw what happened, and then thought, do you know what? I might as well keep on going here. Pucker not responding. He's the nearest rider. He's at 4 watts per kilo here. Kaminsky at 5. They're starting to pick up. Well, now we see 9 watts per kilo come.
Yeah, because I'll tell you something. They're not far off the Valkenburg climb, and it's an interesting move from Jason Osborne. Go for the sprint at the Thyssenhoven-Molen and keep on pushing, because you only got less than a kilometre before you get into the Valkenburg climb. Gives you a running, gives you a lead, but not setting the fastest time through that sprint. 20.621 seconds. Yet again, it's Christoph Lavno from Category 4. SS in 2, fastest time yet again in Category 2. Daniel Valencia in Category 3. Then Osborne's time with Paradians, Tugels, Yasin, Knudsen et al. All part of that squad. Well, at the 16.2 kilometre marker, as they move in towards the climb, is indeed Category 2, and the pack are motoring. Now, motoring on the front, and the reason the pack are motoring is because X100 has gone down the road.
This is a great move here, putting in an attack, trying to stretch it out. Response, Philip Graves, who's been racing Mr. X100 since we turned the decade, pretty much, since we started here on MyWhoosh. He is going after Mr. X100. David Nicko, very, very aware of the danger here. Now Samuel Josh on Canada trying to come back across the gap. You can see behind that there is a big squeeze on. They know the danger of letting them go. Mr. X100 using that emoji, using the emote. Turn and turn about. Let's work together here. He wants this to go. He wants this pack to work and to open up the gaps. This could be a danger moment. Can we see 3 riders break clear? It's been done before. Small groups have broken away early, taken it into the climb, and then held that pace over the top. The Valkenburg climb coming up. It is 1.3 kilometers long. Category 2 course record on it, 2 minutes 10 seconds. So a 2-minute effort could get them over the top, clear of those chasers. But look at the response here. Ross Fawcett is back racing. He's in pursuit, and SS knows just how dangerous he is. He wants to get across the gap as well. He doesn't want Fawcett to make it. He knows the danger of letting Fawcett go and join that lead group.
Well, the group were all together. There was a big group of around 30 riders in the Category 2 race all together. The attacks on the front here before they hit the Valkenburg climb have really lit the touch paper now. SS, Fawcett, Nicko all racing strongly. Samuel Josh in the mix. He's in the melee trying to come up onto SS's wheel and take the toe. Phil Graves doing the work on the front now with X100, but the pace is coming off as they head into the dip before the Valkenburg climb. Now the Valkenburg 1.3 kilometers with an average gradient of 4.3%, and then they transition across the flat reservoir at the top. I imagine that the rest of this pack are going to think they're going to make the catch on the climb, but this could be a race-winning move at the moment. Skierski and Mendakowicz, the 2 Polish riders at the front of the chase pack. But, well, the pace is not hot from that chase group behind yet.
It's so difficult to get the timing right here, because if they go too early, they're putting in a big effort before they hit the climb. At the moment they're on the way along the flat and dropping. This is going to be really interesting to see what response. Can they pull them back? Now Mr. X100, Ross Fawcett, Phil Gray start to really open this up. They start to stretch this out. This is going to be really, really key. Keep pushing now. 2 minutes of effort up over the top. Get that gap in there. Really make the rest of that pack work. This is going to be an absolutely key moment. Keep pushing, keep digging. Watch the chase behind. Nicko out of the saddle here, stamping down on the pedals, really kicking the bottom out of the bucket here at the bottom of that pedal stroke. Fantastic riding. He's trying to hold off the group, but they are coming behind. Sierski and Volta with Koisten are coming at pace.
Well, they are indeed, and the chase group behind really are now chasing, and they're chasing the group at the front. So Bendetti is there, Walter is there, Quintero is there, Koisten all in the mix, bringing the gap down. The gap's now down to 2 seconds to the back of the group, but they're having to do harder work. The push is stronger, the power is higher. The front group gave themselves some sliding room when they went into the climb first. This group have had to work harder, and it may not pay off this time round on the Valkenburg, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4 more climbs coming, and the sliding room that the leaders gave themselves this time round may pay off later.
And it also has instigated the chase, which means that this group is a small group making contact. Behind you can see there is a bigger group chasing as well. So there's lots of riders trying to get back to this group by keeping the pace high, attacking on the front. They've kept the group smaller. They've made it easier to go. The odds are better. The less riders you have with you, the more chance you have of taking away that win. Ika Morel in here, Bert Kane along with Nico Coyston Graves, who they've joined. Bendetti in the mix. Samuel Josh has made the junction. They're running in to the top of the Valkenburg climb. Push on the front here. Ivan Yuki should go take the polka dot. He takes the points. He takes the skin suit at the moment. He's lost it back to Bendetti. Bendetti picking up points on the way through. He's live. Remember that skin suit goes to the rider who's amassed the most points on the way through. So overall, Bendetti scoring more points than Yuki, although Yuki was faster on that climb.
So up the top of the Kortekeer, 32 riders went over the top together. We saw the attacks through the Tissenhoven-Malvern sprint. We saw the attacks into the Valkenburg. 24 riders in category 2 go over the top of the Valkenburg together. So we have lost 8 riders.
So we've lost 8 riders, but we still have a good size.
We haven't
bunch.
lost them. We know where they are.
Good. That's always handy. Know where your riders are. One man who we know exactly where he is. He's off the front as per normal, pretty much for Jason Osborne at the moment, trying to solo his way to victory. 9 seconds the gap. He is on the Valkenburg. Can he go sub 2 minutes? 2 minutes and 2. The fastest time set by anybody on the Valkenburg. Certainly doable. Will today be the day? Will it come from the chasing group? You've got a big pack moving well here. Tugels, Jones, Knudsen, Vjasin, Puka, Kaminski. I mean, a who's who of racing on the Sunday Race Club, chasing the world champion. But the world champion is on fearsome form.
Well, and do you know what my challenge here with this group is? They're all going to be looking at each other to do the chasing. So, no, you go. No, you're a really good rider. You go. No, I don't want to do this. You go. And I think we're going to get a little bit of that playing around with this group. And who will take up the mantle and chase? Because they know the rest of the group will sit on the wheel and go with them. Will it be Michael Vink? Will it be Mikhail Kaminski? Who will it be who tries to trace down Jason Osborne? Or will they be so intent on waiting for somebody else to do the work that nobody does?
And because Michael Vink has been such a strong rider over the last few weeks, months, years, he's a rider that everybody will be looking to push on. If he doesn't, they'll be waiting for him to jump. Vjasin at the moment, just trying to get on the wheel of Kaminski, his teammate on the Alpha Jaw squad. They've got Tugels in front from Abus Esports. They've got a real mix of riders in the race lead group here. Knudsen can never be discounted. He's coming back into form very nicely as well. You've got Jones, who we know is going to be good on this course. Who picks it up? Who takes on the mantle? Tricky to say at this stage. Going to be interesting to see. We're going to get a snapshot on this climb. Will the chase group be faster, or will Osborne have been faster up the climb? Those times will be critical. Remember the course record on here, 2 minutes and 2. That also gives us an indication of just how much the pace is on here, because if they break that record, it means they are absolutely going flat out. If they don't break the record, then the odds are that whilst they might be chasing, they're not going as hard. Here we go. Look at the time. 2 minutes, 10 seconds off the pace. So sitting at a steady breakaway pace, and Osborne is quicker.
Yes, he is indeed. Tugels 2.2 seconds back with the chase group. So Jason Osborne setting the fastest time up the Valkenburg climb today. 2 minutes, 10 seconds, 0.416. Leonard Tugels leading the charge behind with Hayden Pucker, Michael Knudsen, Said Safra Zaidi, Michael Vink, Ollie Jones, Mikhail Kaminski, and Lionel Vjasin. Ivan Nuki setting the fastest time in Category 2. Fastest time in Category 3 going to Matthias Kalman. Fastest time in Category 4 going to Nicholas Trujillo.
So fast times up the climb. I remember plenty more climbs to come. You can see the leading group on the road. Brian White and Christopher Morgan, the pair of riders, currently 8 seconds clear of Cirillo. And then it's Kurt Capino and Co at 25 seconds back on White. They're the furthest up the road in Category 4. At the moment in Category 2, looks like The squad, the UAE clan team, are at it again. They're ripping up the racing. Last time around, we saw Mr. X100 go off at the front prior to the climb. This time around, as we make our way in to the Eichenberg Hill, the non-categorized climb, it looks to me like SS has gone off the front. He's in that green skin suit of the sprint leader in category 2, and in fact the sprint winner, because we have no more sprints now on race route for any of our race categories. Jason Osborne, well, he is leading in the green skin suit of sprint leader in category 1. He's got 13 seconds. Guess how many seconds we've got between SS and Samuel, Josh and co?
12.
Yeah.
13.
Almost 13. Nice 13. There you are. Thank you very much, lads, for pushing on there. Very good. So, two very similar races in lots of ways, but it's the UAE clan team taking it in turns in category 2. In category 1, the world champion Jason Osborne is on the move. He has gone clear. He is still holding them off. Vink is the rider nearest to him, but I wouldn't say that 3.5 watts per kilo is a chase for category 1 by any stretch of the imagination. They'll look to do that on the climb, maybe take him out on the way up. But as Emma said, they may just be looking at each other, which is a dangerous thing to do.
Well, it is. But Michael Vink at the moment pushing on. Michael Knudsen, I've just seen 10 watts per kilo from Knudsen. So there's a concerted push coming on the front of the group. The rest of the group now responding to that. Take a look here. So we're in. It's Michael Vink who's putting the push in. Knudsen's made sure he's on the wheel. Jones, Kaminsky, Tugels and Pucker all in the mix. But it is indeed Vink doing the attacking on the front. I don't think he wants to let Osborne go. And at 12 seconds, it really is a gap that could be achievable for the long term unless it's brought back in. But the group are not going to bring it back in unless they take turns on the front working. They're not doing that. The second Vink has come off the front. No one has taken up the mantle on the front. Hayden Pucker backs off to 3.4 watts per kilo. So the mantle not increasing the work not being done by the rest of the group. Michael Vink now sitting on the back of the group because the rest of them gave up the chase.
Oh, Jason Osborne is in the white jersey with the rainbow bands.
Here we go again.
Another kick by Vink. I think Vink is really sick and tired of sitting in this group and them not contributing. So he thinks, well, I'm going to put the work in and see if I can go clear. You need to either help or I'm going to leave you behind. The rest of the group, I think, in terms of Jason Osborne, they put out the white flag and they're waving. You see, Vink has gone. He's been closed down. They're closing him down for second, but they've given up on first place. That's it. Mr. Osborne, well done. Chapeau, sir.
Wow. X100 in the mix here with Troshanowski, Havo, Nuki here as well. Josh is in the mix. This category 2 race field. SS was down the road last time we were in with the pack. I think he's still down the road, but they're on the climb at 24.6 kilometers. This is the Eichenberg Hill. It's not classified in this race, but it is the Eichenberg double. The hill is first and then the climb. But SS has a substantial lead on this group at the moment. This group, though, digging in nicely and working strongly on the climb, but matching each other, as you can see by the width of the pack across the road.
So this is going to help SS. If this pack does not put in a super hard chase, the top of this climb, as you can see by the profile, top right-hand side of your screen, it rolls over the top. We go very quickly into the descent, and then we have an almost reverse, exact same profile as we reach the base of the descent and go pretty much straight away. It's literally only a few seconds, a few hundred meters into the Eichenberg climb. The top of the Eichenberg climb, much more sawtooth, a sharper point to the top of the climb. It means that you will transition from climbing into descending even quicker. And this pair of climbs are going to be decisive today for SS. If he can continue to extend his lead, he will go into the longer run across almost 6K or so into the Quermont climb and then the Pattenberg. But if they close him down, that will be energy expended. Now, we've seen a move from SS off the front. We saw Osborne off the front in category 1. Vink has gone again. He is being held, though, by Kaminsky. Pucker is there. Tugels and Knudsen just about in the mix. And Jones. So think his try again policy has not yet succeeded. But will he be like that spider in the web and eventually manage to achieve his goal?
Well, category 2 on the right-hand side of your screen. One big group still at the top of the Eichenberg Hill. They're going to descend off the other side and drop into the climb. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens there and whether the climb used 40 times on the Tour of Flanders between 1956 and 2015 breaks this big group in category 2.
It's huge. It's just way too
It's
big.
24 riders.
Oh, it's just ridiculous. Just
well,
like,
the attack is going.
Don't take that anywhere. That's just like, how do you watch all those riders? How do you keep control of it? You can't.
Well, you're not at the moment because the push is coming on the front, you know. Quintero is closing down Millerstick and Van He. They are 20 seconds back from SS, and I think now this is the wake-up moment because you don't want to give SS 20-plus seconds because otherwise you're chasing for second place.
So the moment SS in the dip, in the depression, he's going to go on to the climb of the Eichenberg climb very shortly, running down the hill here at over 60 kilometers an hour. Go category 2, hitting 70k now. So 70 kilometers an hour, 73, 74. We're going to squeeze out another kilometer an hour. I'm not sure these guys can. They're going to start to ease back in terms of speed, and SS is about to go underneath the banner as they reach the base of the descent. He's on the right-hand side of your screen. SS with the lead. The chase is on behind 21 seconds. Van He right at the 4 here with Milostic, with Mendakowicz, with Nitko. They know that they need to be at the front of this group. If there is a gap that opens on the way up this climb, you do not want to be caught on the wrong side of it, because not only will you have to come around the riders in front in your group, you'll then have to bridge across to a group in front. They know that the action go here. Van, he's so experienced on this course. He knows this inside out. He's a rider who can very easily take victory at the end of this. Will it be his day? Simon Walter out of the saddle. The German rider currently pushing his way up. He's on the wheels of Van He at the moment. And now look at those chevrons. Everybody digging deep on the climb.
Well, they are indeed. They're digging deep because they need to pull the gap back. They are working really strongly because I tell you something, 24 riders in a group does not help when you want to take a podium spot today. Phil Graves is on the front of this group. Look at that. Quintero, Krasnich, Alonjon, Skierski is there as well. They are pushing and pushing strongly. Millerstick is the rider at the front and they're bringing the gap down. You know, it was at 22 seconds to SS. It's now at 12. Tell you something, Jonas Bjarhed and Christoph Thiem are doing a phenomenal job, as well as Frederic Grandbert, absolutely pushing here at the front of this pack. And the pack is staying together. We said it was a really, really well-matched group, and it was how can it? I'm not quite sure how it can be a select group of 24 riders when the start sheets, but the start sheets had 57 on, so it can be a select group of 24 riders. But they really, really are so well matched on this course.
Onto the climb, left-hand side, go category 1, 27.4 kilometers. This is the leading group in category 1. They've got riders in here from category 2. They're going to struggle, I'm sure, to stay with this pace. Osborne at 9 seconds up the road. The gap that was opened is holding. It is not extending. It is holding. This is going to be really, really tough. Let's see who can answer this. Vink has been strong. The rest have been strong enough to answer Vink on his pursuit of the leader. As Kenil Davis and Nathan Guerra, if they look in their rearview mirror, they're going to see the leaders in category 1, the best riders in the world. Well, the world champions gone past. The chasers are on the way up the climb. They're going past them. They're on the left-hand side, right-hand side of your screen. Push from Mr. X100 here up on the climb. SS is 7 seconds ahead at the moment. the pressure that's put on, you can see we've got 1s and 2s being dropped off the back of this group as they come to the top of the climb. Mendakowicz is pushing to get back into the wheels of SS. This could split the group again. We could see a reforming, and SS could be in luck here, and you do make your own luck on this course because he could get picked up by an even smaller group here, and that is going to be to his advantage. SS, Mendakowicz, Vanhee, Nuki, Quintero, Benedetti, they're on the way over the top. SS leads.
It's all going to come back together again, I think, Matt, because they're going to go over the top of the Eichenberg climb. It's a knife edge at the top here. They descend straight off the other side, and then there's a long run to the Quermont climb. If this was the top of the Quermont, it could be a different story, but it's not. It's the top of the Eichenberg climb. Mendakowicz comes up onto the wheel of SS. SS is pushing. He's picking up the pace and pushing strongly on the downhill to pick up the momentum and really get it motoring. But Mendakowicz is there as well. The riders behind are just 2 seconds back. I think it will regroup.
Well, let's see how many make that group and how many get back together again. They've just come over the top into the descent. SS making his way onto that flatter transition section as Jason Osborne, the leader in Category 1, approaches that self-same point. Here we go, 28.7k covered. He's heading for the top of the Eichenberg climb. Here it comes. This is going to be quick. He is on the move. He's holding the group between 8 and 10 seconds. It's fluctuating a little. The Eichenberg fastest time, 2:51 to date.
They're coming
chase
quick
behind Leonard Tugels. Look at the push from Tugels here. This is phenomenal. Knudson's answering this, as is Kaminski. Pucker and Vink are being distance. The power of Tugels at the moment is doing damage, and it could fracture the chasing group. Vink could have missed the boat here. He was sat on Pucker's wheel, and at the moment, Pucker needs to do some serious regrouping, some serious resetting. He wants to be in that pack in front if he wants to hold on to the chance of getting a top 5 place today.
Well, you know, Leonard Tugels is the rider who's pushing on here, and he's doing some phenomenal racing on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. Look at that. So Jason Osborne does indeed set the fastest time up the Eichenberg climb of 3 minutes. 3 seconds slower is Tugels leading the charge. Safrazadi is in there. Knudsen, Kaminski, Pucker at 7 seconds, Vink at 7.6. Mendakowicz just 9 seconds back. He's the fastest time up there in Category 2 with Bendetti and Nuki.
So the Category 2 bunch rolling a little bit steadier on the flatter sections, on the downhill, then exploding on the climbs. The Category 1, you've got the classic pursuit, so less explosive, more steady state going on from Category 1. They're the top 2 screens that you can see. Bottom left-hand side, though, Category 3, you can see this group, Johan Moreno having been pulled back by Ivo Schur. 2 leaders there, behind 20 seconds to the main group, which contains Tidholm, Elos, along with Clay's in there. Clay's a dangerous man on this course. Right-hand side at the very bottom, well, your leader, lone leader, Brian White, is clear of Morgan by 17 seconds. Trujillo is with Morgan. They are 2 together, so second and third together. Nearly 20 seconds down on White. White at the moment at 38.6k. He's only another 100 meters or so to the summit of the Quermont. The leader on the road just clear of the chasers behind. 20 seconds gap. Can he hold that to the finish? We'll have to wait and see till he goes over the Patenberg, but he's going to be into the descent towards the final climb soon. So Category 4, 3, 2 and 1, well into the course. Category 2, riders all over the place at the moment. We're in with Mr. X100. He is trying to get himself back onto this
big
group.
push.
He had just got a little distance. He needs to get back into that draft. He needs to get back in those wheels and do the recovery there. Just to be distanced a little bit here. He's going to make this. Nico Krasnic, Ritter, and Co are going to see Mr. X100 of the UAE clan team rejoin behind 28 seconds to John Brune. Great rider Brune being distant. Morel at 45. And then Jason Osborne's on his way.
Well, he is indeed. And I'm just going to turn back to the category 4 ways because we saw Brian White in the lead. He's gone over the top of the Quermont. The chase group of 7 riders have now followed him, setting faster times than White on that climb. So the chase is really on for Brian White in that category 4 race. 20 seconds clear of the chase group of 7 riders, but they are motoring. And I'll tell you who is also motoring is this category 2 race field. Look at the stretch on this category 2 race field. 32.8 kilometres into this 45-kilometre race in Belgium. They're on the long run into the Quermont and really trying to make the most of the pace and the pack, but they need to keep rotating on the front, and you can tell the pace is high because of what is happening to the group behind.
Oh, just love Sunday Race Club. The action, the drama, the questions that are asked of our riders, what they're going to do, where they're going to do it, what is those tactics, where do they play this out, how do you make the play, how do you get yourself into contention, how much can you do? It's a tough stay in with these riders at any level. And the great thing about the Sunday Race Club, it has developed over the years. It's continuing to develop. Lots of new exciting things coming your way in 2025 in January. It's going to be absolutely, I was going to use the word revolutionary, but I think evolutionary, because we do evolve. We've seen more and more categories. We've seen the differences in the race starts and the changes that have meant that we can bring you as many of our race categories as possible. That is going to continue onwards. We're going to try and see as much of the race action as we can here on MyWhoosh. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the channel on YouTube. We really do appreciate it. Thank you, everybody who has subscribed.
And do you know what I should say?
What should you say?
I would say all those changes coming in January. If you have ever thought about riding and racing the Sunday Race Club, now is the time to get on MyWhoosh and do your Power Passport test. Get yourself ready. Understand the rules and regulations of the Sunday Race Club. Get the Power Passport test done and be ready to sign up for the 5th of January.
Lots of great racing. If you're new to racing, if you want to just jump on, if you don't want to go through that Power Passport, we can get you on loads and loads of races out there. Loads of fantastic races out there.
And you know what else you can do? You can join the live coaches on MyWhoosh and get yourself fitter and fitter and fitter to get on that race line.
So whether you love the coaching sessions, whether you love your racing, whether you just like riding your bike, jump on board MyWhoosh, download the app. Remember, we've got the brand new update 3.9.0, I think it is, if I can remember the numbers correctly. We have got some great new additions in there. You can find a friend. If I'm out riding and you've got me on there, you can come and find and ride with me. If you want to feel super fast and super fit, because you won't leave me behind, that's for sure. Jump on board, come and go for a ride on there. Our team do that. It doesn't matter whether they are in the design, whether they are here in the commentary, whether they're behind the scenes on the knobs and faders, in the studio, the broadcast team even jumping on the bike as well. Great to see so many people come in and join us on MyWhoosh. Please do come and join us and jump on board the Sunday Race Club. Great racing, verified results. You know you're racing against people, and it is super fast. Do please jump on board. In with Patrick Carlson, back in with the racing in category 3 here. The leading group at 38.9k. Remember, this is 45 kilometers of racing, with the last climb, the Patenberg, coming up 42.9k.
I tell you, the category 3 pack is a pack, and it's a group at the front of the race, around 10 riders, and then there's a stretch and a gap before the chase group as well. But the category 3 leaders are indeed over the other side now of the Quermont climb. They're going to drop down towards the Patenberg, and then it's the run to the finish. Brian White in category 4, 18 seconds clear of the chase group. That chase group of 7 riders, it was hanging at around 23 seconds. It's coming down slightly, but he's just gone under the banner to signify the start of the Patenberg climb. Can he hold the lead in Category 4? What can Category 3 do about who wins this race? Because at 39.6 kilometres, they're coming into the last 5K. They're on the descent of the Quermont. They're going to run into the Papenburg. Patrick Karlstrom is there. Strong rider, Karlstrom. He's taken the win before in California this month. We know he can ride really, really well, but so can Kalman, Kirchner, Van Velligem, Goodall, Moreno. They are all strong racers too. Lewis Ridley is in the mix here, and I'll tell you something, he is also a rider who exactly took the words out of my mouth.
Well, here we go. Brian White is hoping that they don't take the victory away from him. He had got clear. There were 2 chasers, then a group of 5, the 5 and 2 come together, 7. You can see him behind White at the moment being led by the polka dot skins of Nico Sergio. You can see that he is the nearest rider to White. That gap has come down to 5 seconds. This is going to be key. What has White got left? He went long. He went hard. At the moment, he's being closed down, but the chase is killing riders off at the back of this. They are scaling the way out. They've climbed, they've escaped from the dungeons in the deepest, darkest depths of Belgium. They're now heading in towards the citadels. This finish is a tricky finish. It levels, then there is a little kicker as we come around the left-hand turn. We've got a right followed by a left. This is going to be really tricky. So we go around this left-hand turn, then there's a right-hand turn, another right and left. It's hard to see what's going on if you are not watching carefully, because this is a very technical finish. If you go too early, you will fade by the line. It's a long way from the final rise in. Go too late, and that happens more often than not, you will not catch. So you've got to get the effort in now. It's an absolutely brutal finish. Trujillo and Cadiz, the riders on your screen. Trujillo in the polka dot skin suit, Cadiz in the red, chasing Brian White. White leading 3 seconds the gap. They are just in front, right-hand side of your screen. Very quickly, left-hand side of your screen, Mr. X100 on the move. He was off the back. He's off the front now as they go up the Quermont, climbing Category 2. Category 4, though, they're in to the last kilometre.
They are indeed, and White still has 3 seconds on the 2 chasers. So Brian White clear at the moment, leading the Category 4 race. He's the leader on the road at the moment. This is flat at the moment. They're about to come into the final climb. It's not categorized. It's just a bump in the road before the finish line, and Brian White is about to hit it. He's backing off the pace, but he can't back off for long because Daniel Cadiz and Nicholas Trujillo are the riders on the chase. 4 seconds back.
So White on his way. This is going to be critical. What's going to happen behind? Can Cadiz and Trujillo get there?
Well, it's gap now at 5 seconds because White has kicked on the climb. It's 7% under his wheels. He's on the climb. They're not yet, but they're coming in, and Cadiz is opening up now on the climb at 7 watts per kilo. He's trying to move away from Trujillo. Trujillo kicks at 9. They're chasing Brian White, who's up the road. The gap is still 4 seconds, but White has got 500 meters left. 400 meters. He's going to come around the corner now. The gap still holding at 4 seconds. Has Brian White done enough? What is going to happen in these final few 100 meters today on the Sunday Race Club? Well, Category 4 racing does not disappoint at all, because Brian White could well do this today. He's the lone leader in Category 4 for so long, but Cadiz is finding another gear. So is Trujillo, but Brian White sees the banner. Can he do this? Can he hold it? White is going to hold it just from Cadiz. Daniel Cadiz comes over the top of Nicholas Trujillo. Brian White in 1, Cadiz in 2, Trujillo in 3. Phenomenal racing in Category 4 today.
And that line could not come soon enough for White. They're just holding off the chase behind, emptying the tank on the way in. The rest of the pack has come through. We're going to dive in with Category 3 leaders now. The Category 3 leaders, Van Velligem, Edwards, along with Kirchner, Karlstrom, as well as Calvin and Ridley. Moreno's just off the back of this group. He's got to get back in super fast here because we're going to go over the top of the Paterberg.
Yeah.
This is critical. Van Vellegem on the front. Remember, Van Vellegem was Emma's tip for the top here today. He's got Edwards with him and Kirchner and Karlstrom. This selection is key. Remember, we saw two riders chase down a lone leader. This time around, we have got the riders on the front. They are a group of riders. They have got ones and twos behind. They should have enough, and it means that they have got to keep pushing whilst watching each other. Proper track racing almost here. You're riding forwards whilst looking over your shoulder, making sure you stay aware of what's happening.
Well, I think there's 8 riders in contention here in this Category 3 race. Van Vellegem, Edwards, Karlstrom, Kirchner, Ridley, Moreno, Goodall and Kalman. The first 8 riders up the Paterberg in Category 3. This now is all about who has something left in reserve and who can go for the finish.
We can just see fluctuations up to 5 watts per kilo, from 2 watts per kilo, dropping down to 1.5, then up to 5. Riders are really twitchy here. They know they can't ease off too much. There's great riders behind. They know they want to keep it between themselves here. Brilliant sprinters, strong riders, proven race winners, all at the front here. Now, push coming from behind here. You can just see Kalman is just going to make the junction. Goodall is holding at the back here. Push on the front, just out of the saddle. This is going to be key. Who's going to blink first?
Well, Karlstrom has blinked first at 8 watts per kilo with Kirchner. I think they've gone early. There's still 900 metres of this race to go. They're not yet on the climb. They really need to watch this. In fact, they've realised they've taken the pace off. They've backed right off, but Kirchner, Moreno and Karlstrom leading this out. Van Vellegem, I think, riding smarter, and so is Matthias Kalman, the rider in the polka dot skin suit, pushing on and going over the top. Karlstrom launches a 12 watts per kilo kick. They've still got 600 metres, 500 metres to go. They've got to go up. Has Karlstrom gone too early? The kick in his legs is phenomenal at the moment. He's holding at 9 watts per kilo. Robert Edwards is trying to close the gap. So is Stan Van Vellegem, but no one can touch Patrick Karlstrom at the moment. He's still got to hold this all the way to the UCI banner. Van Vellegem pushes again. So does David Goodall and Paolo Kirchner. But the gap is now at 4 seconds because Patrick Karlstrom is going to come through the gates of the city and see the UCI banner. He's got 4 seconds on Van Vellegem. Patrick Karlstrom, phenomenal timing today on the run in to the banner. Congratulations, Patrick Karlstrom takes the win in Category 3.
Big sprint coming behind with Van Vellegem taking the second place there, I think, from Moreno and Goodall, but that's going to go down to a photo finish. Great ride by Karlstrom. He went and nobody could answer that attack. He took the victory clear. They were racing for second place. Who got second, Emma?
Well, I can tell you, Paolo Kirchner took it on the line by
Wow.
0.002 of a second from Stan Van Vellegem, David Goodall, Johan Marino, Robert Edwards and Lewis Ridley.
0.02 of a second separated second to third there. That is a full-on photo finish. Thank goodness we're in a digital age. That would be really tricky to judge with the Mark 1 human eye, but one man who doesn't want to leave it to a photo finish, Mr. X100 off the front of this group of Category 2 riders. Peter Milosic and Mr. Mendakowicz behind, just keeping station. They know that they don't want to let him go too far. We are just reaching the base of the descent. We've got the run through the cellars, through the dungeons here, as we make our way through those padlocks and grills at the side, past the flaming torches. This lot have to know when to light it up, when to chase, when to put the pressure down. There are runners all over the road at the moment. Category 2 on the top of your screen. Category 1 race, bottom of your screen. Jason Osborne in the green skin suit that he's got over the top of his World Championship jersey, which is over the top of his yellow jersey for Category 1.
It must be very warm.
Especially down in the dungeons with those flaming brands either side. He is leading. He's on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. Leonard Tugels at the moment trying to chase down Pucker, who's gone hard, who's seen the riders in front, and Pucker gone for another another long one here. Kaminsky and Nussen are behind. Where do you go? Where do you chase? Getting your timing right is going to be key. Into the climb goes Mr. X100, the nearest rider to him at the moment in category 2 is Peter Milostic, who's on the top right-hand side. You can see the archway shown on both screens. Gives you a real indication of what separates these riders on the road, on the run into the Paterberg.
It does indeed, as X100 goes underneath the polka dot banner and hits the wall. That is the Paterberg, 9.4% at the moment, and it's strong there. Milostic is the rider chasing. Now, Peter Milostic is a good rider on this course. He's punchy, but X100 is the rider punching at the front of the category 2 race at the moment. It's a 10-second gap, but the power behind is higher. It's going to come down. X100 is going to get caught here, I think, because Marcin Troshanowski, 7.5 watts per kilo, leading the charge. Sebastian Havo is there as well. So is Christoph Thiem. And I tell you the rider who is also coming, and that is Jason Osborne. The leaders of the Category 2 race are going to see the leader of the Category 1 race come past them before the finish line today.
So in with the Category 2 leaders, they've caught back Mr. X100, who is leading coming in. But this group are going to come up over the top pretty much together here. This is going to be a big pack fighting it out. Is anybody able to break clear at the very top and put the pressure on enough to distance another rider or two? As Emma said, Jason Osborne is in amongst them now. He is going to come rocketing through if he continues the pace that he's going, because Osborne is flying at the moment of the climb as well. This is going to be a frantic finish in Category 2. This is a huge bunch. I don't think we've seen a bunch this size coming in to the city in Belgium for a finish for a long time. This will be brutal. Nobody can relax. Nobody can let off. We've seen some very close finishes, and that point 0.011 of a second between second and third could be replicated here in Category 2. Category 1, that's not going to be the case. Jason Osborne clear on the front and making his way up towards the group.
Well, Osborne is indeed clear and making his way up to the group, and the stretch on the group back to Phil Graves, around 14 riders, but Graves now getting distance with Skierowski in there as well. Milostic, Nuki, Bendetti, they are all in the mix up ahead, but Phil Graves is glued to Jason Osborne's wheel at the moment. He wants Osborne to take him back to the group ahead, and that is what Osborne is doing to not just Phil Graves, but Paul Skierowski as well as Sebastian Havo. Havo actually not going to make it, I don't think, but Graves as well as Skierowski will do. Osborne's going to bring them back in. On the front of the group, though, David Nitko coming into the climb that's going to take them into the finish line. They've got 700 meters to go. Is it going to be too late for Phil Graves? But David Nitko, Maciej Mendakowicz, Christoph Thiem and Mads Buster. Mads Buster opens up at 13 watts per kilo. Who else is going to kick here as Buster comes through the group? There's still 600 meters to go. This could be an early run that could succeed, but Christoph Thiem now kicks behind. Mendakowicz is there as well, but Buster has got the power beneath his wheels at the moment. He's flying towards the finish line. So Mads Buster absolutely motoring away from the rest of the Category 2 pack. Christoph Thiem is towing the rest of them in, and Christoph Thiem looking like he's going to break the group now and go clear in second place from Maciej Mendakowicz and David Nitko. But Mads Buster is going to come underneath the UCI banner in first place in Category 2. It was a huge group of 14 riders, and Buster got his timing right today. Christoph Thiem coming underneath the line for second place, I think. Well, we're going to see what happens when the computer rolls that through, because they are coming thick and fast. And Jason Osborne in the mix, taking the win in Category 1 there as well. Leonard Tugels chasing down Mikhail Kaminsky. Hayden Pucker has now been caught. So it's Kaminsky in second place in Category 1. Tugels chasing him down, but he's not going to catch Mikhail Kaminsky. He's going to come underneath the UCI banner to take second place today in the Category 1 race behind the world champion Jason Osborne. Kaminsky in 2. Leonard Tugels is going to come through for 3rd place today. He comes underneath the UCI banner. The next rider in category 1, well, that's Hayden Pucker. He comes through for 4th place today. Congratulations to Hayden Pucker. 5th place, well, that's a little bit further down the road at the moment and yet to be decided.
So great racing as these riders come in and through the finishing line. We're going to have to watch for the updates on the screen. So don't forget, all of these results are live coming in at the moment as we speak. Jason Osborne taking the win in category 1. Real battles going on all the way out and around the course. 1 hour of racing, 1 hour of fantastic racing in all our categories. If you want the full results, jump on to the MyWhoosh website on the results pages, the results updated, and remember there will be a big tick going in on there when those results are verified. What a great way to round out our qualifiers in our men's and women's racing in qualifier race number 4. Next week is our final riders in teams, team prizes, individual prizes. Make sure that you subscribe to MyWhoosh on YouTube, on Twitch TV, wherever you're watching, to get notified when we go live. Thank you very much if you've done it already, and thank you if you're going to go do that, get that done, because it really does help us bring you the race action. Give me a follow. It's at Matt Fixer Payne on Instagram. You can follow Emma at biking_Emma also on Instagram. Don't forget to follow MyWhoosh. It's at MyWhoosh on Facebook and on Instagram. Jump on board, get riding with Emma. She's coaching early Monday, tomorrow, 9 o'clock GMT. Very good. That is going to be tough stuff. We actually managed to say the right thing at the right time at the end of 2 exciting races. What a day, what a race, what a set of races. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Tell your friends, share it out there. Remember, Sunday Race Club, it does what it says on the tin. We race. We're a great club of riders, and it's every single Sunday of the year. Last one for 2024 coming up. That is going to be next Sunday. Next Saturday, we've got Echelon Racing. In between, if you celebrate Christmas, have an amazing Christmas. If you are just having a few days off, if you're taking some time, enjoy that. We're really busy working on, I think I'm going to be bringing some race action from Zonhoven very shortly for another UCI discipline.
I might spend the afternoon watching some cyclocross.
Oh, there you go. Look, you're going to be talking about more racing. It's got a lot to match the racing here on MyWhoosh. Time for us to head off. A massive thank you to you for watching, to our riders for keeping us entertained, and an amazing team behind the scenes who follow the race action. I'm not sure how they do it, but they do it week in, week out. From Emma, myself, and the team, stay safe. We'll see you again soon.
Goodbye.